Hello everyone, today I'm going to show you two traps, one with white and one with black. Make sure to like and subscribe. Okay, so the first trap we're going to see is from black. So white opens with e4, you respond with e5, then we get the Italian game, which is like this. Now you play knight to d5. Your opponent thinks that you blundered because you hung a pawn. When he takes this, then here comes the trap. If he takes this, then just queen to g5. Well, you can say, why can't you just play knight takes f7? Well, the answer is because of queen takes g2. When you fork my queen and rook, I'm also attacking your rook. So if you take this, then I can just play check, and then your only move is this, and then I take back. I take on e4 to check. After something like bishop e2, and something like, and now you have to play queen e2, because if you play bishop e2, then bishop c5, knight f7, then you play knight f3 check. You can't take, because you're pinned, so you have to play king f1. So then queen h4, knight d6 check. You have to give a check. There's no stopping mate if you don't give a check. So c takes d6, king g2, queen takes f2 check. You can't go king h1. If you go king h1, then it's just queen takes h2 checkmate. If you go to h3, which is the best move, you still get queen takes h2 check. But you can play king g4, and after knight f6 check, if you play king f5, then there's queen to e5 checkmate. If you take the knight, then queen f2 is a checkmate. So after this move, your opponent would play rook to f1, the only move that protects the rook. But now you have queen takes e4 check. You cannot play bishop to e2 because a knight f3 is a checkmate. You are checking the king, the bishop can't capture it, and the king is just smothered by all its pieces. So what white have to play here is queen to e2, and after knight takes e2, d3. And after queen g2, knight takes h8. And black is just winning. So let's see what white messed up after queen to g5. What white messed up is you shouldn't take with the knight. Instead, you should take with the bishop. King to d8 is the best move, and then you can move your knight. But let's see what happened after king to e7. Then you will castle. White will play queen takes e5. You'll play bishop takes g8. Then after rook takes g8, c3. The computer likes white here because of all the development and the center control, while black's king is stuck and black has no development. Yeah, so that's the trap for today with black. Now let's look at a trap as white. And this will be I will show you two traps with white. So traps first. e4, e5, knight f3, knight c6, and we get a Posiani after c3. So you could play knight f5 or d5 striking in the center. But let's just see. If knight to f6, then we play d4. Well, now as black, you're gonna think, do you take this pawn or do you take this pawn? Let's see taking this pawn first. So after knight takes e4, you play d5, and the knight has no moves except for knight back to e7. It cannot go to h5 because then b4 and the knight is trapped. So knight e7 is only 6 square, but then you grab this pawn. And this is a really weird position where there's 3 knights lined up on the e file. Here knight g6 is the best move. But you might think, well, the central knight is really strong. Why can't I kick it with a pawn? The problem is you cannot play d6 because then bishop b5 check, c6 takes. You can take back, but after knight takes, you're just in trouble. The best move then you would play queen to a5, hitting the bishop. But that doesn't really work. Let me show you. If queen h5, then just c takes b7 check. Well, you could take the c takes b5, the bishop, but then you're just down material. But what if you say, have at f6? Then after queen h5 check, g6, and after something like queen f3, and if you take this, then I take this. And I like white here because of the centralized queen, which no piece can attack. And white has control over the d4 square and some room on this side. And white can develop really quickly like this, while black needs some time playing d6, this, and rerounding the knight somewhere. Well, white can just put bishop here, and knight here, and castle. Or this way, doesn't matter. Okay, so the next trap I'm going to show you is a trap where you can win your opponent's queen. So, start with e4, d5. Then you play knight f3, which is the Tennyson gambit. You can also achieve this position by playing knight f3, d5, and e4. Now, if he takes, you play knight g5, attacking the pawn. The best option by black here is knight to f6, defending the pawn. But then, you would play d3. Black has doubled pawns, and this is really... And since black is up a pawn, black should take. So after e takes d3, bishop takes d3. You have developed pieces. Now, black will play h6 to kick away your knight. But now the trap happened. You play knight takes f7, attacking the queen and the rook. So king takes f7 is forced, or else you will lose material. Then the queens are lined up. So you have to spot a check. Well, the answer is bishop to g6 check. And after king takes g6, you pick up the queen. But what if black is smart and plays e6 in this position? Well, e6 is one of the ways to prevent this, because if knight takes f7, you can play king takes f7. Then after bishop g6 check, you can take either the pawn or the king, and the computer likes king takes g6. And now you cannot take the queen. I mean, you can, but black is gonna win the queen back by playing bishop b4 check. You're in check, and the queen is under attack. So the best move is queen to d2, so you at least get a piece for it. But black is just simply up a piece, and black is winning. Another way to defend this is playing knight to d7, knight b to d7. So when this bishop moves, you cannot capture the queen if the knight is here, or you can block with the bishop, like bishop d7. Okay, that is the end of this video. Make sure to like and subscribe, and share this with all your friends. See you in our next video.